Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
The Trump administration's January 2025 cancellation of the CBP One smartphone's apps to use scheduled appointments at ports of entry left hundreds of non-Mexican migrants stranded in the border city.
Right. So now here's an app, right? It's just a phone app but it made it possible for these migrants, right, coming over to be able to, have a lawyer or get transportation or try to put together some kind of way to transition away from the hellhole that America's created in their homeland. But they just snatched that away, cancel the app, and so now you got brothers who they're using the app on the way, they get right there to the border, trying to do things the right way, and next thing you know, wait, what happened to the app? Now you're stranded.
Wow.
You think they care about that?
Nope.
No. Right?
Yeah.
Read on.
A report from the Washington Post, Terrence McCoy, covered Playa, Baghdad, the easternmost point of Mexico's border with the United States on the Gulf of Mexico. The small fishing village is just a few miles from where Elon Musk's SpaceX carries out test launches of its rockets, which generate, quote, noise, explosions, and trash.
Right. White man going around tearing up the land, leaving shit everywhere, trash, nobody's bats an eye about it, right? But he's so conscious about the environment and all this. No, wherever he can make money, right? Or wherever he can push his influence and take over, right? That's what it's all about. He really cares nothing about anything but him. Go ahead.
The small fishing village is just a few miles from where Elon Musk's SpaceX carries out test launches of its rockets, which generate noise, explosions, and trash. The residents allege are killing off fish and other marine life.
Right. So give me was that Isaiah 14, 6-8.
This is Isaiah chapter 14, beginning at verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. Verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us.
That's right. The trees, the fish, they can't wait for that South American scumbag, right? Elon Musk and all his bullshit to be done away with, right? Then we can relax. So you thought that Elon Musk was only over here in America causing trouble or in the news, with the government and all that, No, he's everywhere. Everywhere, pissing people off, messing up people's backyards, messing up their livelihood, their food, right? Their food sources. You won't hear about that in the news, right? Because it's not the so-called white man or the other nation's problem. It's not happening to them, you see? It's just happening to, it's only the Mexicans, right? Damn that. Those are our brothers. So we should all be pissed off about it, All right, let's read on.
Notes about border barriers.
All right, so let's get more into these border barriers, right? Because they'll stop at nothing to keep the so-called Mexicans from coming back to the land that they used to own, right? Go ahead.
DHS Secretary Noem was in Brownsville, Texas on January 7th to show off new buoy barriers that the Trump administration plans to install in the middle of the Rio Grande.
Right, in the middle of the Rio Grande. They're going, once again, how you think that's going to affect any of the fish or any of the wildlife? What about the deers that be jumping around and like to drink? You think any deer going to get their head caught in a Constantine wire? They don't give a shit, right? They are the hunters of the world, and they hunt for sport, right? And right now they gave their eyes set on the northern kingdom, particularly the tribe of Issachar, right? They got their sights set on them. It's terrible, man. Go ahead.
DHS is spending $96 million to install 17 miles.
$96 million out of nowhere, just, to keep those Mexicans out of here. Right? Because they're so bad for the economy. No, they make the economy work. Right? All the free labor, all the free hours they put in, or underpaid, man hours. And then they're not using the benefits that should be afforded to employees and workers in America. Right? Go ahead.
DHS is spending $96 million to install 17 miles of barrier in the Rio Grande near Brownsville, Border Report reported. It is part of a plan to install 500 miles, mainly in Texas, using funds from the massive budget bill that Congress passed in July 2025. Unlike the roughly 1,000 feet of buoys that Texas Governor Greg Abbott installed during the Biden administration.
They'll spare no expense, right? 500 miles. A lot of people don't even realize how long 1 mile is.
5,280 feet, I think.
That's it. It could take you about 6 minutes just to run it. And that's at a pretty strong pace. And we're talking about 500 of those. They're just going to dam whatever's there. We're going to put buoys and we're going to put concertina wire, right? And, false barriers in place. Because they hate the so-called Mexicans.
Excuse me, can I say something? And actually, in every 5 miles, there's like 35 agents working in there.
Yeah.
Just above that, if 5 agents.
Just in case you happen to make it across the barrier, that's really meant to get you all cut up and have you bleed to death. Because our brothers are very smart and ingenuitive or whatever, so they're gonna figure out a way to get around that. But they got a man with a gun standing over there in the background, right? And that man's making a good amount of money too. He gets paid good to keep oppressing the Israelites. And then on top of that, a lot of those are Israelites with the guns. It's a lot of Border Patrol agents that are Northern Kingdom tribe brothers. Been destroyed by America, man, to oppress your own people for a paycheck and a house with a picket fence. That's why this place has to be destroyed, man. Nothing but confusion, right? Who can untangle all the madness so-called white man and his politicians have done, right? The politicians making good money to devise ways to make the Israelites suffer. Go ahead.
Unlike the roughly 1,000 feet of buoys that Texas Governor Greg Abbott installed during the Biden administration, the new barriers are not spheres. There are 15-foot-long cylinders and are not interspersed with serrated metal discs.
So he's showing off the new style, the latest model of barriers, right? Of netting, if you will, trap to catch the Israelites, right? It's like we read previously. They catch the poor, yo. Go ahead.
The city of San Diego, California is suing the Homeland Security and Defense Departments to stop Marines from laying down concertina wire on city property near the border in the Moran Valley area southeast of the city.
Right, because that's what we pay the Marines for, right? Is to put down barriers, not to fight threats from overseas, right? Hey, it doesn't matter. They'll figure out a way to make it happen if it's going to oppress the Israelites. Okay.
Calling the operation unauthorized trespassing.
Right. It's terrible. Go ahead.
The suit contends that the construction of the fencing barrier has caused property damage and adverse environmental impacts, including damage to plants, vernal pools, and wildlife habitats for endangered and protected species. The